I'm Aaron, and we're doing our first podcast with the wonderful, brilliant Leo Curbelo. And today our topic is all about AI, basically artificial intelligence, graphics. Don't get anything in your little AI. Um, but so we are here to discuss we've talked a lot about how AI has taken over and it's really ramped up in this last year with practically every day there's something new. What's new today will be totally different next week, and we can feel as artists very behind on what the world is doing. And the idea that you really should get out of your head is that AI is not taking over our jobs. What it is doing is it's just a new tool to enhance our efficiency, our brilliance, because really the goal of you as an artist is to create something that's beautiful, that's human, that's natural, and you are the element that is the intelligence, and it's not artificial. So, with that being said, it's very important to know that we have to use it. It's in our lives. It's not going away, and it's important to use it and use it in a way that is good for you. Um, that it shows you up as a brilliant artist. So, with that, we're talking about basically what it has helped us do. And Leo can speak to this, and he'll tell you a little bit about who he is and what he's working on right now. But without AI, actually, this particular sequence that we're going to talk about uh, really couldn't have been done without like hours and hours of work and tons of money that needs to be spent on artists and labor and graphic programs. So let's talk about what it is that you're working on. What it is that if you didn't have AI, what would you have been doing?
Hola, soy Leo Curbelo. Sorry, I have my AI translator on. That's going to help in the future. Hi, Aaron and I have known each other for a long time. I mean, going back decades now. We used to work in advertising together. And
Yeah.
from there, we both went into the video world. And I've been editing professionally now for 22 years, I guess. Before that, I was a graphic designer, quote unquote. So it's easy to make the transition. I mean, I already had a video background, a film background from college and from other pursuits. I had worked professionally in the business as well in the old analog days, you know. But then digital came like gangbusters, and within like, from the late '90s to early 2000s, everything changed. We went from analog to digital to like I have a little tape up there, the other side. That's like a DV tape. Trying to get it. I got it. I almost got it. I almost got it. Yeah.
There
That's a
it is.
DV tape. And that's the
Oh, right there,
clam, the
that
old
little
DV
blue object.
clams. Yeah, and the old DV clams. Remember those? And we had a sort of, it was pretty much like analog. It was very much a mixture of analog and digital in the early days until like the mid to late 2000s when we went into HD and everything became, luckily I happen to have an SD card in front of me. Everything became this from those tapes. And
I
since then,
you
for
know
the
a
last
little
20,
a little side note, Leo. I
yeah.
remember early days. Must have been around 2000, and I asked you, is I had just gotten a machine computer. I think this was back when Mac was selling out there, so they had the Power PCs that were Mac
Right.
based,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I think I bought one. Uh, and I asked you if hey, is 12 gigs enough to like run video?
RAM stuff,
And,
yeah.
and you
Yeah.
just laughed and
Uh,
laughed.
I know. Luckily now that, I mean, this computer, I have a Mac Mini right now, I just got in December, which is very powerful. Because it's the first computer I've had that really churns 4K nicely. I had it before this. I had a 2017 iMac, and I had maxed it out with everything, with RAM, and still wasn't holding up. And now this one only has 64 gigabytes of RAM, but it's an M4 Pro chip, so it handles everything nicely. I still have a little lag here and there, and a proxy once in a while, especially when dealing with a two-camera 4K setup. I'll try to proxy. Otherwise, it runs smoothly. But getting back to AI, and when Aaron approached me about a topic for the show, I said, well, I recently came up with an AI hack. Yes, a hack, boys and girls, because everything nowadays is about how can we hack this and that. Um, because I was working on the short film, and I knew I could get away with doing the slight effects I needed using AI. And I thought it would be just typing a comment, what a prompt as it's called in AI, and you get whatever you need. And it wasn't so. And so I had to sign up for. I signed up for Firefly, which is the Adobe AI engine, and I got it free for 2 weeks. But I burned my credits right away because they give you credits. Like in the lower end standard features account, you only get like 11,000 credits, which is about 500 credits per animation, and each animation is 5 seconds long. I guess animation or output, whatever you want to call it, because you can do both cinematic or graphic, whatever. But the outputs were burning me. I mean, I was burning, 500 credits per, and within like 2 days, I lost my credits, and I'm just getting them back today. Even in the free standard one, it took me a month to get my credits back because it gives you like 11,000 each month. Anywho, and as I was getting to my last bit of credits, I figured out how to hack it. So I want to show you all the errors I made up to that point, and then I'll show you the final export and how it fits into the film. Because you'll see that it may seem to you that it's slow or it's sloppy or it's choppy, but once I put it into the context of the film, it's perfectly fine. And I
And
wasted but
just this is just a scene
yeah,
from a bigger idea of a movie. You're creating this scene in order to shop this around, right?
right. I wrote a short feature. It's about 50 minutes long. It's a comedy. It's something to do with for little or no money. That's how it was written to shoot that way. And we decided to shoot this scene first because we thought it was the funniest. Maybe not the funniest, but the one more accessible to us because it's only one character on screen, and we could shoot it, whenever we had the downtime. And we used in Central Park, which is we both, me and my co creator, we both live in Upper Manhattan, so we were very close to Central Park, and it's easy accessible to us as a location. So we decided to shoot there. And like I was saying, the graphic itself was pretty simple, and the needs that we well, it was two different graphics, but I'm going to show you just one. One was a bird and one was a plane.
Mm.
Today I'm going to show you how I got around hacking the plane bit because I was burning a lot of credits. So
And
should I
time, right?
and time? Yeah. I
You know,
mean it.
one of the things that I found out when I used Runway when I was
Mm-hmm,
first engaged to produce a video,
mm-hmm,
and I didn't realize that you can't just test it out. If you render out a version, you use up credits, and you learn very quickly that you have to be very precise and very accurate about your prompt.
right. And I was so let me go through it. Should I go into it, Aaron, before
Yeah,
we
yeah. I mean,
listen?
do you have the ability to show us that little sequence, that finalized,
Yeah.
or
Should I show you that last? I have it queued up.
okay?
Unless you want to see it first. You want to see it first? The final product.
Yeah, I think so that we can kind of understand a little bit.
I want to show you the entire scene. I'm just going to show you where it falls into the video. Because the video is about 4 minutes long, but this scene's it's only 6 seconds long. You see that?
Yeah,
This is Antonio Ruiz, and he'll be in this season's uh, Only Murders in the Building. It's his third episode that he's done for the show. He plays the superintendent of the building. This is the third time he came back. I think he was twice in the first season, and now they brought him back for one episode this season.
For which
So
show? The Murders in the Building?
yeah, yeah, only murders in the building. Yeah, yeah.
Only
He's like
Murders in
the
the Building. That's a
he's
great show on Hulu.
yeah, yeah. He plays the superintendent, but it's only like the third time they brought him back. So I don't know if you hear the sound, but the sound doesn't matter. Um, so I'll just play it and I'll then explain to you the whole thing. Is that okay?
Yeah.
It's 6 seconds long. All right. So I'll go through it quickly. So here we start off, we're in a dream sequence. The events prior to the scene led us to him falling asleep in the park, and now he's having a dream sequence. And in the dream, he's eating a bagel, he's fishing, what have you. And he looks up in the sky, he hears a plane coming, and then we see this plane come right at him. And then the plane turns into a hawk, which is his reality, and now he awakens back in the park where we had left him before. Pretty easy to understand, right? Now, today I'm going to focus on how I created this bit here, which may not seem like much, but it's pretty realistic if you look at it, right? I won't get into the hawk, but for today I just focus on the plane. How do I get this plane, this World War II jet plane, to attack from the sky and look pretty realistic? I mean, of course, if I
Yeah. I mean,
pause and I go slow, you'll start seeing, the errors or what have you. But at the speed that we see it at, I mean, it's like 2 seconds. It's like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and it's gone. So
right.
it's basically a 2 second shot, right?
And what
Now,
like
mhm,
and
sorry.
was your idea from the get-go, we're just going to go to AI on this?
Okay. Mhm.
Because
Yeah, yeah. I knew that AI was the way to go. I knew that AI was the only way I could get to this because
what were the other options for this?
other options will be creating it in some. Well, my first option was using stock footage, searching for the correct shot, and it had to look just like that, you
Right.
know. And that's not something you're gonna get from World War II or a war movie. I cannot use a World War II clip because that's copyrighted. I could buy stock footage if I find something close to it, right?
And what are we talking about? How much? Like
Well,
five hundred
if you
dollars a clip, $1,000?
probably
Yeah.
something like that, right? And they're all very grainy. I mean, the actual World War II footage was black and white. And you still weren't getting that perspective of the plane coming right at you. The idea was, can I get this plane to come right at me? And you were going to get that from stock footage or documentary. I had to make sure that I got what I needed, and I
Right.
wasn't going to get it from stock footage. And we didn't have the money for it either. This is just a trial thing we're doing,
Hmm.
and spending $500 is not worth it because there's no ROI on this. You know,
Right.
well, at least not now
Right.
at this stage. So I
And
turned to
and then your second option would have been what? Get a 3D artist.
right. I mean, you do 3D art, right? I mean, I could have come to you and say, "Look, I need this," right? And you would say, "Okay, I think I could do that," but it would have taken you maybe
Oh,
back and forth 2 weeks,
yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
maybe you would have had a pass on it with 3, 4 full days of work. You would have had a pass.
Yeah.
Then I would have
I'm
made
not
changes,
the fastest 3D artist, and yeah, I
right?
mean, and
And
that would
and,
have, and I
and
would
that's
have
for
done it
fate.
for you for little to no money,
Oh no, it
but
would have been no money. And that's the whole thing. Now you expect that
however,
favor,
my
right?
time is,
Yeah,
if I'm doing this for a client, two
yeah.
weeks worth of time is, that'd be about 8 grand minimum.
There you go. And I mean, that's we have nowhere near that. Not even not even $8. So, because again, it's a 3 minute video with no money at the end. There's no return on investment on this.
Yeah. So I just want to point that out that
Yeah,
these are the options that are available today,
right,
currently, and so it makes AI a much more uh,
right. And I could have
logical
gone to
approach.
maybe I could have gone to Fiverr, right? I mean, if you go to Fiverr and find somebody overseas, you
Mm,
probably get it done. Still be a few $100s. and with a lot of revisions, because you go, oh, wait a second,
Yeah.
the plane twisted too much. Oh, the plane should be green. The plane should be this. The plane should be that.
I
You run into a lot of issues
yeah.
because
I
you've
mean, I
you've,
have to
you've
be
used that before
honest.
years ago. You know, oversee artists, and you know that it's a communication also. It's tough sometimes,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah. It's a
be
little bit like the prompts in AI. You don't always get, when you explain something, it doesn't translate really.
right. So for this case, I needed I mean, what you see that, how would you describe that, Aaron? What you saw there, those 2 seconds that I show you. If you needed a prompt, what prompt would you use?
Oh yeah. If I was for the airplane,
Yeah,
World War II plane, um, dive bombing, flying, uh, frame left to frame right, and then dive bombing. It would have been a long prompt. Dive bombing
right,
to camera.
right. Well, actually, it's not even flame. It's just really dive bombs. There's no flame. It's just dive bombs from the sky, right to camera, right. So I went to here. I went to Firefly, to the free options they have, right.
Hmm.
And let's say I typed in World War II plane dive bombs from sky, right? Something like that. It probably won't give me an option to generate because I don't have enough credits. And oh, bat request. See, 'cause I don't have enough credits at the moment.
All
So
right.
here, when you get here, then you would put in your resolution, 1080, because you can't do 4K, which is bad. And then widescreen vertical square, chose widescreen. Like, you can't change the frames per second. You're stuck at 24, which is fine because that's what my video was. The
Right.
duration is only 5 seconds.
Does that change if you have the paid version or a
If you have the
higher?
high paid version, there's 3 different paid versions. I mean, I
Okay.
could show you. I don't want to. I don't know if you want to.
We don't have to do that. I just was.
Okay.
It's
Yeah. If you
just
go. Oh,
good to
oh,
know.
oh no. Right. Uh. World War II plane. Whatever. It doesn't matter because right now they gotta let me do it anyway. So that was saying, yeah, bad request. So it was 1080, right, and then 24 a widescreen, 24 frames per second, and then I chose shot size. It was I guess it was a long shot, right? And then it was handheld, kind of. It was a handheld. No, well, you can change how you want the camera to move. I think probably it was static shot, and then it was cinematic. Those are my choices that I had for the look of the film. And then I tried. That's what I did, right? And I hit prompt, and then it gave me. Now let me go back to my files here. It kind of holds everything you did.
Hmm.
Everything I got. Here's my prompt. A World War II fighter jet dive bombs from a sunny sky towards camera, right? And it did this. I have no idea what that is. I have no idea. It's got
is
like
it a,
four
is it an
wings.
upside down F-15 with two
There's a
tails?
wheel coming out of the window. And since again, this is my first foray into doing AI stuff.
Right.
So I tried it again. I changed the words around. I put in a jet fighter dive bombs from a sunny sky towards camera. And then again, it's like,
It ignored your dive bomb.
yeah, I was
Dive.
just flying across the sky. And like, what?
What
And
the
I'm burning credits here. I'm burning 500 credits per shot,
per?
per,
And
right?
explain that a little bit. Why is it not just one credit?
Well, it's video, so video takes longer, and I think they charge you like 100 credits per second,
Okay. And
right?
that's
But you
because
can,
they're pulling pixels from all over the place, right? Millions
right?
of locations.
It goes grabs, 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 grabs. It burns a lot of energy. It kind of grabs stuff that was already created. Maybe somebody put that in somewhere. Jet fighter dive bombs. That's how the AI engine works, right? It just goes around the entire universe looking for little clues to create its thing.
It's not
And
super
I kept
eco-friendly.
right. It is not at all. So I tried it twice here. This is chronological. So I gave up, and then I started working on the hawk that I needed. You guys saw the hawk, right?
Yeah.
which turned out pretty good because then you can actually export it on green screen, which that's a that's a topic for another day. So I went back to it again a few days later, and I tried it again. Uh, I won't get into it, but then I got closer. Now I did this one here after a few tries, and it was closer. It was like a 1940s plane dive bombed straight down towards camera from a sunny day. I thought my prompts were getting a little clearer, and I got this, and I don't know what the hell this is.
What is the propeller moved from
Yeah,
the
yeah.
tail to the what
And
is
all of a sudden the
going on?
helicopter. It's weird. It got weird, man. It's like a feverish dream, you know. I said, "Oh man."
Oh
So
my
then,
gosh.
and then I did it again. World War II plane. This time I wrote out World War II instead of WW2. Plane fly straight down,
Already.
and it's not even close. It's I don't
Like
know what it's
it's
doing.
eating its jet.
And the contrails above it is not following it. It's going into the contrail. It was just weird. Again, feverish dreams, right? So,
Oh my
and I tried it
gosh.
again, and then it gave me the same thing. Then here I gave it a reference. Now for this, I used a reference, and what
And
I
this
did
isn't
was
this is important because
yes, right,
it helped really reframe things for you.
right. Got to the point where I said, okay, I need a reference. Then I need to go and tell here. It gives you an option. It says composition. Video must be 5 to 10 seconds long, and on the 200 megabytes, longer videos will be trimmed to the first 5 seconds. So I uploaded a reference file here. I wish I could see it. I think it gives me a chance to see the reference file again because it was a few weeks ago. And it was just
But
of a plane.
it's just a static Photoshop, right?
Uh, this was I think this was a stock footage of a plane flying by.
Okay.
So I uploaded a stock footage of plane flying by, and it gave me I don't know what that is.
Is that a kite that someone bought? What the what?
It's whack, right? It's kind of weird. It's
I mean, the propeller's not even moving.
yeah.
And what
Um,
is like? Is that a real design? Like
no,
there's elbows in a wing?
it's just it's really whack. Yes, well there is yes, and those are the Mustangs from the PT Mustangs from World War II had that sort of a
Ah,
curve to them. Yeah, yeah,
okay. I don't know anything about aerodynamics, so
yeah. So then I said, okay, I need a better reference, and I uploaded a static image of. I went online, and then I looked for. I went to Getty Stock. Was it Getty? No, Shutterstock. I went to Shutterstock, which is a stock house, and I searched for plane, right? And it gave me this. I put in World War II plane from the front, what have you, and it gave me this
and
this
and
shot.
you didn't pay for this. This is
Resna,
a
it's the freebie. You know, you
right.
sign up,
You can
and
download a like a reference thing, and it has
right.
the watermark on it, right?
Well, no, it doesn't have watermark but it's low, very low res. This is very very low res. You couldn't use this for anything.
Gotcha, gotcha.
It's tiny. It's tiny. It's like a few K of image. You know, because you have the account and you download the reference, you can put into your video. So I took this and I brought it into Photoshop. I went to Photoshop, right? And then I said, okay, I don't want of course, I need to silhouette this out. Nowadays, of course, you go ahead and you go select, you know, select subject, and it does it for you automatically, right? Oh, sorry, I'm the wrong layer. Here, if you're in a Photoshop, you go to select subject and automatically gives you silhouette, right?
Yeah.
And then you silhouette it, boom, you got that. Now, that's still not good for me because I don't want to have the wheels. You know, I don't need the wheels. So then I go ahead and I mask out the wheels. Right, I'm just doing quickly hit jump right there. Boom, 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 and I masked out the wheels, what have you, and I ended up with that. Right, again, doing Photoshop for 30 years, I'm very fast. So I got that. I go back there and tweak it if I want to get closer. So all right, I need a sky. So I look for a sky picture and I found this. Right.
Yeah, and it's important that you don't
Yeah.
spend too much time on this because this is just for reference,
Just for
right?
reference.
This is not
Exactly.
going into any final.
Right. and I went on Google Images, search for sky, then you go to tools, select large, to give you the biggest image possible, and I copied and pasted this in. Am I stealing this from the internet? Yes. Yes, I am. But it's just for reference file. So I took that, and then I said, all right, I'll bring this in to, so then I ended up with 2 layers, right? I ended up with my plane layer and my sky layer, right? So when I took that into After Effects, and I went to After Effects, and then I'm able to take the plane and make it move. Sorry. For instance, I gave it this movement from here, right? I spun it like that. It was smaller, right? In After Effects, that's my starting key point, and then my end was here like that. So that sort of mimics more of what I want, right? You get the idea. And then I export that as a movie. I'll go into After Effects in a little bit, but this is what I did and exported that as a movie. So you had the flight from here, small, spinning into right into the camera, really tight, like sort of really tight, like so, right? Now I use that.
And you're just showing us in Photoshop what you did in After Effects.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And
But
then
yeah, just a note.
right. So then I went ahead, I brought that up as a little movie right here, and I used it to create this image. And I did this. It's like, all right, it's getting closer. It's getting closer. It gave me the plane. It's kind of
I
weird. It's
mean,
not really what I want at all.
right.
You know?
However, of all the planes that it has made, it's pretty close
Right.
to your final.
A World War II plane flies straight to camera from a sunny day. So maybe my prompt was wrong. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So all right. So I need to have more. I need to give it more zhuzh to it. And again, now I'm on version. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's version 11. That's 5,500
Credit.
credits. That's like 5 days worth of credits in
Wow.
order to get there.
Wow.
Maybe no 5,000. No 5,500. Right? Yeah.
5,500.
Yeah, out of 11,000. I need 11,000. You get cut off, right, for a month. You get 11,000 a month. All right, so now I'm getting a little frustrated. I said, all right, it's time to do a better animation. So I went to After Effects, right, and then I brought my plane in like that, and here's my plane. Here's my plane, right, by itself, and then I went ahead and let me turn that off a second, and then I animated it. It was closer. It's closer to it. All right.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of much closer to my final thing. So I said, all right, let me bring that into After Effects. Now I had the propeller in there in After Effects, which you can't see now. But sorry, let me just do this here.
You have to turn it on. Yeah.
Yeah. But I have to reset it so it doesn't fly.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, because the problem is that I ended up doing that later on. All right. Okay, so this is what I had. I had the propeller on the plane, right? So when I brought it in, the plane did that. You see that?
Yep.
So it matched my movement. Okay. So I was getting a little closer. So then, where's my window? Okay. So I exported that as a movie. I brought it into After Effects. I brought it back into Firefly, the little movie I created. You see it here. You see a little plane flying out of the sky, out of the sun. A World War II plane flies straight to camera from a sunny day. And then I animated that, and I got this. Much closer.
Much
I don't know
closer.
where that, yeah, I don't know where that smoke comes from, but it added some smoke to it.
It's a cool
Yeah.
ambient effect, and I when I'd seen this before, I had explained to Leo that was I like
Yeah.
the atmospheric version of that, but it looks like someone is off frame, like pouring that in.
Spraying it in something like spraying
We
it
need
in.
more fog, more
Right.
cowbell.
And here's when I realized that, oh my God, the propeller's not spinning. Okay.
Right.
And I kind of ruined it before, but I said, all right, now I got to get the propeller to spin. Um,
And just because there's the word intelligence
right,
in AI,
right,
it doesn't mean that it's
right.
like overly
Intelligent.
intuitive.
Okay. So then with the same video I had created that I just showed you with the plane flying in towards the camera like that. Oh, I'm trying to get that. So plane flying in like this, like we've seen here. I
Hmm.
changed the prompt. I wrote, from a sunny blue sky, a World War II plane, propeller spinning, I wrote, fly straight to camera. So, all right, this should be it. I did that in, it added wheels to it,
And something below.
and it added a propeller in between the wheels. Again, I'm still burning more credits here and time, because it takes about 10 minutes for this to render and everything. So,
Right, right.
each try is 10 minutes and 500 credits. So now I'm up to hour 3 of this. I said, well, that's weird. Why did it do that? So then I said, let me try it again. Let me change the prompt. From a sunny blue sky over to plane, front propeller spinning. I wrote front propeller spinning this time. Fly straight to camera. AI should know what that means. Propeller in the front spins. So I did that, and well, it's no longer in the bottom. It got rid of the propeller on the
And
bottom.
it added a second set of wings. Tiny wings.
Well, no, it's not. No, actually, that's supposed to be the. Oh, right, yeah, it's weird. I thought it was a back wings. It's not. It's just like another.
They've
Yeah, it's
attached
just
it is supposed to be the tail wings, but
it
they
attached
made
to the
it
front.
attached to the front wings.
It got weird. So now I reach here and I'm about to lose it. And
Right?
so
Yeah. So
yeah,
yeah, that's important to explain. And we
yeah,
understand those frustrations that we go through. Like, why
right,
is this not working?
right. Because you think the prompt should be enough. So that's when I realized, like, okay, I have to tell the AI exactly what I want, because I could create what we call in the old days an animatic. So this is an animatic that's used for commercials and is used to this day. You know, people also call it previs, a visualization. You say that. I can't say that.
Pre-visualization. So
Right.
I in order to explain that, so a lot of times what I would do, I would be
Mhm.
prompted by the client to they would create a storyboard and give
Right.
me Photoshop or Illustrator files, and then I would animate those frames so that when they present it to the main client, the client really understands what the
Right.
final will look like.
Right. And understand it's just
And it's very simple animation, very simple
flat art.
movements.
The color's
Yeah.
not right. Nothing's right about it.
Yeah.
So I said, all right. What I did then in Photoshop, actually, I should go to Photoshop first. Let me go to Photoshop first. In Photoshop, I had to bring my plane in, right, and remove the propeller and put the propeller on its own layer. So now I have a propeller layer and a plane layer, and then of course this my sky layer. So
Right.
now I have those 3 different items: sky, plane, and propeller. I brought that back into After Effects, and then hello, and then in After Effects,
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I
Just a side
right,
note here, you comp the plane by itself so
right,
that the propeller is centered and you're not tracking it in the main comp
no, right,
with the movement of the plane.
right. This is its own. This is an After Effect. If you know After Effects, you know that you do comp inside comp inside comp, so you
Right.
don't have to have keyframes that have to match.
Right.
'Cause you don't want to have multiple layers with the same keyframes.
Yeah.
So you just use comped in images. So now my plane has a propeller on its own, and then I added a keyframe here. Hope you see that. You see that?
Hmm.
And I put in my rotation at 0, and then I put a keyframe at the end, rotation at 20 times. So now my plane has a propeller in front of it.
Oh, okay.
And then what I did was I added the motion blur, and then I turned on the motion blur, And now with motion blur, I get, you know,
And and
right,
again, because
yeah,
this is not going into final, we don't have to worry about the wobble in the center. This is
right,
just to tell AI what to do with this information.
right. AI should understand the plane. So now, again, like I showed you earlier, this is my sky in the background. This is the comp of the plane I just showed you. And now my keyframes go um, from the top and cocked over like it's a rotation of 55 degrees, minus 55, and so 30% scale. And then when I get here, right, my scale is at 422%, and my rotation is at like a 5 degrees. And I guess I don't care that it's blurry. Again, I'm just creating something to show, because if I was really doing this as a final graphic, I would need to have this graphic at 100%. So it would be a much, much larger plane. I'm using a plane this big right now, but if it was real final art, it would have to be much, much bigger, because I don't
Right,
want it to
right.
get blurry. And at the end, boom, it's at 1,073%, you know, at 0%.
Well,
So
you're this close to a plane, just
yeah,
FYI. Uh,
yeah,
it
yeah,
doesn't matter what the resolution
yeah.
is. You better be getting out of the way.
So I created a little
Again,
animatic.
dream sequence.
Yeah. And I created a little animatic. And if I would have done this from the get-go, I would have saved 1,600 credits. Sorry.
And how much time? Because now
Nine,
you
sorry.
some days have gone by, right? Because you
Yeah,
got
I would have saved,
frustrated, went back to the
yeah,
bird, came back to
I
the
went back and
plane.
forth about 3 days and about 10,600 credits. And I only get 11,000 a month of credits. So if I
Right.
would have done this from the get-go, just create this little animatic, right? That lasts,
And
it's
how
six
much time did
seconds
it take
long.
you to make this animatic?
Oh, this is very fast though. I mean, I could do this. If I would have got the idea from the get-go, I could have done this in maybe 30 minutes, right? Because just the plane silhouetting the plane. But I'll show you how quickly I silhouetted it, right?
Yep.
And then I silhouetted. I mean, I could show you in Photoshop. Everybody knows Photoshop pretty much. I had this, right? I started with this as the silhouette of the. Okay, Photoshop. All right, I got you. This is my original image of the plane, which I it's kind of squeezed down because I was showing you guys how I right. So this is my original image of the plane, and I silhouetted it, right, and then I needed to pull the propeller from it. So of course you duplicate it, what have you, and then you go ahead and you silhouette the propeller. And this is the different ways of doing it. You know, maybe use the lasso tool, what have you. You just pull the propeller out, right? Oh, wrong thing. Okay. Uh, oops. And then you can adjust it more until you get propeller out, right? I mean, that's the idea.
Right.
It's just not doing it for me right now. Anyway, I don't know why it's not doing it. Oh, that's because I have the one turned on. All right. So yeah, I mean, I'll go ahead and then do a very nice adjustment of removing the propeller, and I remove it nicely. You know what I mean? And then over here, I had to go ahead and um, where's my and here, after I remove the propeller, then I have to fix the plane itself, because now if I don't have a propeller, I'm gonna have to show the motor behind it. And here, what I did was I just grabbed a piece and I copied it in, and then I twisted it around and I fit it there. You know what I mean? And did stuff like this in order to get my engine to be full again. Things like
Right.
that,
Right.
right? I
Right.
mean, I'm simplifying it, but after I removed the propeller, then I had to build the engine back in, right?
But 30
And that's how
minutes
it.
from Photoshop to After Effects, creating the animatic.
Let's say 45. Let's say 45.
All right, let's
Because
say 45 minutes. That's still less
yeah,
time than the days that you've already spent.
yeah,
And you can multiply. You didn't work full days, but like you would say
right.
probably anywhere from 8 to 12 hours, or
Definitely, I would say 8 hours, 8 hours, back and forth, back and forth. So then I exported that movie, that 5 second movie from After Effects, wrote it in as a reference file, and on the first shot, I got this. And this looks nothing like my Photoshop
anything?
file in texture or anything. But after all my different tries, I had this try when the plane was green. So I already knew what I wanted looks wise, except for the messed up wing in the back and stuff like that. But it had given me close to what I wanted when it came to World War II plane, right? So
Right.
that was already in its mind, let's just say. So by
Yeah.
the time I got here, even though I gave it a white, blue plane, flat, what have you, it followed that schematic, yet it gave it a nice contour. It gave it, a 3D effect, and the propellers are spinning just the way I wanted. It gave the propellers color, you know. And my prompt was, from a sunny blue sky, no ground visible,
Right. Because
a World War
that
II
was
plane,
what it was putting in there. Yeah.
right, right, a World War II plane, front propeller spinning, fly straight to camera, you know. And this looks slower than what I ended up with, but this is the actual file it created.
That's
This is the file
amazing.
that it's in the movie.
That's
But
amazing.
I would have gotten to here much, much faster if I would have gone ahead and created a schematic from the
And
get-go.
and you're
And now
and
you can,
you're okay without the pilot in there, right? Because it's a dream sequence, right? So it's
yeah,
supposed
I
to
mean,
be somewhat cartoonish.
yeah, I guess I could have put the pilot in. I could have asked it to put the pilot in, and now when you see it in context, I mean, it's all I asked for. You know, you don't miss it. Okay, this is pre-color corrected. This thing has been color corrected yet.
Right, right.
Uh,
So it's also important to note that, it, unless you are, I think it's only, it'll embed the file. So you won't be able to export a plane on a transparent background, right?
well, you can export it on a green screen background.
Okay.
You can do that because, for instance, when I was working on the Hawk, right? For
Mm-hmm.
instance, I needed a Hawk flying, um, and it gave me this Hawk. This is one of the many Hawks I did. Hawk flying, right? See that?
Mm-hmm.
And then a red-tailed hawk glides very fast towards us with green trees in the background. I wrote that. And then later on, as the AI was learning with me what I wanted, I was able to put in a red-tailed hawk glides fast towards us with green screen in the background. And it gave me this. See? And now it flies with the green screen, right?
I love that it had the trees in the first part though. Like
Yeah, yeah,
what?
it's weird.
Why
But
are
then
you why are you
the more
doing
you
any trees?
the more you play with it, it gives you different options.
Right.
And now it gave me more green screen. And all I needed was 3 seconds. That's enough. All I needed was, you know, from there, boom, you know, and I can silhouette a little bit if I want to, where it
Mm-hmm.
hangs the trees. I can
Mm-hmm.
silhouette the trees out. But the green screen is perfect, you know,
That's
and it's gonna be much smaller on the screen. So yes,
yeah,
you could.
so
I could have
when you go to keying, it'll really make sense. Yeah.
right because I need my character in the shot when it comes to the hawk.
Right,
And
because it
again,
lifts the hat off his head.
yeah, yeah, yeah. See, that's pretty nice. And again, it's playing with it. If I would have gotten a hawk, if I would have taken a silhouette of a hawk and put it on a green background, and then made the hawk do the movements that I wanted, right, and exported that as a movie and brought that in as a reference file, I would have gotten exactly what I wanted. Since when it came to the hawk, my character was going to be interacting with the hawk, I wasn't sure about the movements, where what I was going to use in the final cut of him running and whatnot and dodging it. So it was just much easier for me to just get it on the green screen and then adding the movements myself. to the hawk, right? But the plane was a one shot deal, you
Right.
know. I do have
It,
another shot of the plane, but it's different. It's way different. I use a silhouette of a plane, so it didn't really matter.
it's
But
amazing. I mean,
like,
you did a
yeah,
fantastic job on that. I think that, for our viewers that, you know, stop with the, it's so frustrating. I have come up against exactly what Leo was dealing with in my text prompts. And I think even my reference files, I put in like some static stuff,
mm,
really didn't help to move the needle on like my final outcome. And it's really important to understand that that reference that is available in Firefly, and I think the other AI
yeah, all of them, pretty much.
models
Yeah,
offer that. So get get an animation in that's as close to what you want as possible, and enhance it with a text prompt, and you'll get very close to what you want. So
and
I
another
it's amazing. I mean, I I didn't even think of that, when I was doing stuff. I think I just settled in the end, but
because
it was fine. It ended
the
up
thing
working
is
out.
that people are, I hate to use the word, lazy, right? And they think they can just, and you told me about a client who was trying to do that, where they want to just build a whole big thing just using prompts. And that's not going to happen because the prompts are not going to be, uh, uh, how do you say, responded to by AI the same way from image to image. It's going to change. Your next
Mhm.
plane may be purple, your next plane may be blue, whatever.
Right.
But if you create an animatic and follow the animatic the correct way, I mean, you feed it, you feed the intelligence what you want it to be, and you interact with it long enough, it starts to learn what you want. For
Right.
instance, the green
Right.
plane, it kept my plane stay green after a while, after shot. And if I was doing an entire movie with characters, I would need to have the AI understand what I want. Maybe using if you wanted, if you're using people, you may use the same person over and over again
Hmm.
when it
But
comes to the
in this instance, like, so for instance, you did this work. Now, if you
right.
were coming to Firefly with a new project, new
Mhm.
characters, um, different scenarios, would it doesn't intuitively follow you, like, okay, oh, I understand that you're doing this differently now, until you had a couple of prompts, right?
Right.
I mean,
Again,
like ChatGPT sort
right,
of like, and other similar models, Claude and stuff, sort of get an understanding of who you are, and they learn
right,
your voice.
right.
But this is not that.
I
I
don't
mean, I've
know.
heard of people using ChatGPT, like, I'm going to be using Firefly. What prompt should I use
Mhm,
with Firefly to get what I want?
mhm.
But then again, you have to sort of explain to ChatGPT what you want, and so it's sort of like
Right.
redundancy.
And I tried ChatGPT with those memes, like those. Remember a few months ago they had the shrink box meme, where like you create yourself into a toy,
Right, right.
you know.
That's been
And
a
the
tool.
first right, and I did a few of them. It was cute, but it unless you fed it something like your own photo, then it'll create you closer. But then it started doing weird things, like you would change the prompt and it'll still keep things from the old image you created that you don't want anymore.
Yeah.
Like I had put a friend of mine in a shrink box, whatever, and it kept bringing stuff in that I didn't want included that I hadn't added to, like a flower, whatever. If I put a flower in the previous version and now my new prompt didn't say flower, the flower will still be there. Like it had like, memory residue,
Wow.
residuals, if you will, of memory. So what I mean, if I was to do an entire animation in one of those ChatGPT, especially on a low end account, as opposed to the high end account is like $200 a month.
Right.
Is that
Yeah. I
crazy?
mean,
Yeah,
even if you are a studio, that's a lot of money to be paying for,
yeah,
you know, unless you're doing everything you're doing in AI. it doesn't make sense.
Right.
Like
I'm trying to see
that's
if
a huge amount of like for a subscription. But
uh,
I mean, it makes sense because on their end, like they're putting out tons and tons of energy and uh,
I'm trying to bring up
pixels and ideas.
I'm trying to manage the plan here. See if it tells me exactly how much it is. Um, um, right. Okay. So, oh wait, I went to
I mean,
something
that's
else.
enterprise level, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even exit. I'm trying to find the Firefly plan out. Um, sorry, I'm trying to find the Firefly plan.
That's
What
all
they
right.
give you? Get credits. He's giving me bad requests
You can
every time
look
I try
this
to.
up yourself,
Yeah, you could. You could.
Uh,
Premium features.
but I think I hope that this was a benefit to you, and you can work more efficiently with your own AI models, whether it's Firefly or Runway or what have you. Any
there.
final thoughts you want to say, or
No, just animatic. Animatic is the way. And if definitely you got to know Photoshop, and you got to know how to search in Google to find stuff. Find images, or you can draw your own. If you're a good artist, draw your own, because when we used to work in advertising, we had there was a whole department of people
yeah,
who just drew
illustrators?
animatics all day long. They first work out your idea in a storyboard, and then storyboards themselves get more complicated with each layer of revisions, and then you take those and you can animate your storyboards to create uh, the the animatic that you're gonna need for your final animation. But
Yeah,
definitely do animatic first before creating something in any AI platform you're using. That could have
amazing.
been the whole thing. That could have been the entire video. Me saying, make it animatic. That's it. Upload it. That's it. You're
Yeah,
done.
exactly. Right.
Except it took me 4 days to get there.
Well, we can also do an episode about animatics and creating those because
Right.
in a lot of my students that their understanding of keyframing
Mhm.
and putting motion to things is can can be daunting in certain ways. I know it's one thing to go, here's a position keyframe, and then we move it down the timeline to another point, and here's another position, and that's
Right.
simple. But in a way, when you're trying to create organic movement and simplify it and simplify the workflow and process to get that done, is
Mhm.
that
Right.
that all comes out in animatic stuff. So
Good. Because
yeah,
I'm just thinking, if
definitely.
animatic was two people sword fighting, I would have had to have a lot more articulation. I would have had to do an animation for the arm, an animation for the sword, animation for the person's head, the legs, and
Yeah,
maybe AI would have taken over that and done a much better job, or maybe, and again, it's trial and error. Maybe you do it with, remember the old,
yeah.
this is how old we are. Remember the old Marvel animations from the 60s? It was just the characters just moving across the screen. They had no articulation whatsoever. You look up
Exactly.
Marvel,
Be da da da, and then punch, and
then
then
Hulk would jump.
bam.
Hulk, he would just jump like this. That's all it was. That's all it was. They literally took the comic books and just moved them across the screen.
Right.
And I wonder if taking those and animating those, I mean, bringing those little clips into AI, see what it does.
We should
It
do
won't
that.
allow you because it's copywritten.
Oh my
you
gosh, you're,
know,
you're laying out my schedule for the next year. We've already got
yeah,
three. We got writing, animatics, and then we got comic book art stuff. Yeah,
right.
be
Because now they
fantastic.
do it a lot. I mean, the comic books,
I, yeah,
DC and Marvel putting those out now. They're animating all their comic books in a very simple manner because AI makes it much easier for them.
right. Yeah, and so it's important to understand where when you turn to AI as your workflow process, or when you integrate it into your workflow process,
Mhm.
when it's important and when you're being too lazy, because
Yeah,
the importance is not to be lazy. You don't want to put out what AI puts out. You want to put out what you want to put out. So
right.
um, that's the important thing. But yeah, to your point about animatics and comic books, I think those are storyboards. Essentially,
Yeah,
you just open up any page in a comic book, and it's a bunch of frames. All of it's a storyboard. You can take any page and turn that into an animatic, and animate each of those frames. So that's
especially up to the 50s. I mean, after, in the 60s, it got a little more complicated, and you got splash pages and you got vertical pages, but until the 50s, it was literally like a storyboard, just like square, 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 square. Yeah, yeah.
exactly.
And, again, you can still manage it if you do it the right way.
All right, Leo.
All right, man.
Let's wrap this up.
See
We'll
you,
see
man.
you in the next run.